Hey fam, what it do? It's your man Mark Black. Happy Hump Day to all of you. You know what time it is. We're getting ready to have us a little discussion. I know lately I haven't been doing a lot of teaching, a lot of discussion, you know what I mean? Well, we've been doing a lot of discussion, but we haven't done a lot of teaching. Don't worry, fam. We're going to get back to that. Starting Sucker Free Saturday, we're going to start exploring topics again, looking at the data and stuff again. But I felt like that we needed some inspiration, right? The inestimable, honored elder brother ancestor of ours now, brother Dr. Khalid Muhammad, said that as a teacher, his job was twofold. It was to provide education and, when necessary, to provide inspiration, right? And fam, we have a lot of education that we still need to do, right? We're going to talk about topics ranging from as far as psychology, economics, religion, sexuality, and so on and so forth, right? This is the channel where we talk about all the stuff don't nobody want to talk about. But that being said, there's been a need recently, not just in my own personal life, but I think in a lot of your personal lives, for some inspiration, for a chance for you to embrace the reality of who you are and understand that it is all good. So before I get into the broadcast, I'm going to do a couple of things here. First of all, quick reminder, at the bottom of the description field of every video, there's links to books, reports, resources to help you to understand what this whole ADOS thing is all about, to get you up on your advocacy, right? There are also links to support my work. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Consider becoming a Patreon of mine. $5 a month, fam. Super cheap, but even if it's $1, it's appreciated. Another thing that I want to do, first let me go through the channel here. The chat, as I always do. Shout out to Golden Dinar. Welcome to the broadcast. Hip Hop Investment Channel, fam. I see you. What's up? Welcome to the broadcast. Sundog, the inestimable Black Man 903. What it do, fam? Brother Pat B1, I see you. Sister Christine, the beloved Sister Christine, I see you too, sister. Remember, fam, if you come into the house, knock on the door, right? You ain't got to participate in the chat, but make sure you let us know you're here so we can shout you out. And I also want to give an extra special shout out today to our beloved Miss Denny. I'm not that dude who be throwing people's business out in the street, but our sister's been going through a rough patch lately, physical wise, right? She's had some physical issues with some injuries I think that she sustained, and she's been out of work now for like 2, almost 3 months, and she's facing the time when it's looking like she's got to go back, but she's still in a lot of pain, and her frustration is palpable, right? Not just in the physical aspect of it, right? The constant pain, things like that, but also just the mental fatigue that comes in from dealing with pain over a long period of time, the different financials. By the way, shout out and shalom to my brother Paul. Welcome to the broadcast. And so I want to tell our beloved ally and sister, Miss Denny, that even though sometimes we gotta embrace the suck, that don't mean that it's a personal feeling of ours, or that that it's necessarily the best situation, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes the only choices we got, fam, is the lesser of bads. You know what I mean? And so, Miss Denny, we love you. We support you. Make your choices, stand on what you got to stand on, do what you got to do to face what you got to face, and know that you're not doing it by yourself. That's what I wanted to say to our Miss Denny today, just to lift her up through her time of struggle, you know what I mean? So, and I hope, Miss Denny, you take that in the spirit in which I meant it. So, that kind of ties right into our topic of discussion today. Miss Denny asked me to talk about the need for self-care, right? And I've mentioned it before on my channel. As you all know, I'm a huge proponent, fam, of us making sure that we look out for number one, right? But we need to have a discussion as to the mental state, as to the honor was mine, Miss Denny. Like I said, we support you in for a penny, in for a pound, and I know personally, I'm speaking me personally, my heart's always with you. I hate seeing you suffering. I hate seeing you struggling. And I know that your fellow angry black sheep, their hearts are with you too as well. We need to have a family discussion, though, about the mentality that's involved in self-care, right? Because one of the things that I've noticed in our discussions, or I should say in discussions that I've had with ADOS people, as well as people in general, is that many people take umbrage with the idea of self-care because to them it seems selfish, right? They say, you know, I've got responsibilities, I've got duties, I can't just do X, Y, and Z for me, right? You know, I have to make sure that my kids this, and my woman that, or my mate this, right? Or my family that, or my job this, or my job that, right? The idea of them, of us, of you taking the time and the effort needed for your own self-collection, like your self-care, the idea for many of us is anathema. And there are specific reasons why, of course, fam. Well, there are specific reasons why those of us who say focus on self-care, focus on taking care and doing for yourself, get short shrift. Now, understand, fam, when I say do for self, I'm not talking about that goddamn striver, aspirational bullshit philosophy of, black people can do everything for themselves. No, that's not what I'm talking about, right? More what I'm talking about. Peace, John. Welcome to the broadcast. You're not late, fam. You're right on time. I'm talking about more along the lines of ensuring that your specific needs, and to a great degree, actually, your wants are met primarily before everyone else's. The title of this broadcast was taken from a speech that was given by our esteemed brother and ascended ancestor Martin Luther King shortly before his murder, his assassination. He said that I have no wish to die. I want to live as long as any man. Longevity has its place. And then he goes on to say that he's been to the mountaintop and he's seen the promised land. And everybody focuses on that piece of the speech because that's the part that's the most inspirational for us, right? That our brother, our leader, our beloved, guider, or warner and pathfinder saw that we have an end to our struggle. Right? So it is not wrong for us to have taken inspiration from that. But I don't think any of us ever pay attention to the fact that while he was martyred, Martin didn't want to die. This is not to say that this makes him a lesser man. He did in his short life on this planet what many so-called greater men would never have done. So he was already a man among men, a great one, right? But let's keep it a buck, fam. He wasn't eager to become our martyr. He was not wanting to die. Longevity has its place, fam. And a need for us to understand that there is nothing in the world wrong with us seeking to better our individual lives, our individual selves. We are a part of a tribe. And on this channel, we talk about things from a tribal aspect and a tribal point of view. But at the same token, let's be frank. Let's tell the 100% truth. Your man, Mark Black, as inspirational as I am to many of you, in my heart, I'm telling you, words fail me when I think about that, right? So I accept that with all humility, right? Shout out to my brother Richard. Happy Hump Day to you and welcome to the broadcast. But as inspirational as I am to you, as hard as you want to see me work, and as hard as I want to work for you, fam, if I do not take care of myself, I've got nothing I can give you. Simple as that. No matter what gifts that I've been given in this life to be able to provide for myself, my family, my community, and ultimately my tribe, if I don't start with the base of the pyramid, which was my own black ADOS ass, I got nothing for everybody else up the chain. My mother, when I was young, fam, she used to say to me all the time this phrase, right? And I'm certain some of you have heard it. The phrase is, self-preservation is the first law of nature. My mother would say to me this all the time, right? She stressed over and over again how if you cannot take care of yourself, you cannot take care of anyone else. And I remember being young and even then thinking to myself, well, what about this? Or what about this person? Or what about these people? Or what about these circumstances? Now, what if that question to death? Or what if that statement to death? But then it hit me. By the way, Tina Fey, welcome to the podcast. Happy Hump Day to you. It hit me like a ton of bricks, fam, when I realized that everything about us as human beings, as Homo sapiens sapiens, is hardwired for our own asses to continue to exist. So we need to have a discussion about selfishness, because we are under the misapprehension that selfishness is somehow foreign to the human experience. Universal Mike, fam, I see you. Happy Hump Day and welcome to the broadcast. Fam, I got 2 bio kids and 2 step kids. So I know of what I speak when I talk about children. And let me tell you something about children, for those of you who don't have it. Sister Jones in the house and my brother Travis, aka Black Dollars, is in the house. Happy Hump Day to you and welcome to the broadcast. You have never seen selfishness like you see it from a kid. Even as babies, whole existence, their whole existence, from the moment they leave their mother's womb, pre-verbal, barely able to move and hold up their own heads, they have within them basic instincts that drive them to create the situations in which their needs are going to be met. For example, they cry, and they cry a lot, and they cry shrilly. I don't give a damn who you are. If you hear a baby cry, even if it's not yours, that baby has your attention. Humans are hardwired that way. It is, like John Anderson said, the essential selfishness of survival. Your first and primary basic instincts, fam, are to preserve the life in your own body. As you gain facility with manipulating your environment, you become quite good at getting the individuals in your environment to assist you in meeting your needs. Right? One of the first words that every child learns in their native tongue is one of the words that comprise their very first sentences is the word no. Now, many of us are under the idea that they learn to say no from us telling them no. But that's only part of it, fam. That's only part of it. See, children are information sponges, right? Shalom, Sister August. Welcome to the broadcast. So, when they're born, their whole job is to gather information about their environment, what type of situation they've been born in, and to adjust their behavior accordingly. Now, your child, even pre-verbally, will have been told no by you a number of times, right? And none of them times aren't arbitrary, right? It's not you telling them no just because you sick of them. You telling them no to protect them, and so on and so forth, right? But here's the thing. What your child sees, fam, when you tell them no, is that they see that there's a word and there's a correlation between the use of that word and the meeting of a need or the gaining of a resource or the changing of a behavior. Your children are not stupid. And so once they figure out that no means a change that's usually beneficial for the person that's using the word, their first instinct is to use the word no. So if you're trying to give them peas when they want the peach Gerber, they're going to say no to you. Why? Not because they've heard you say no 10 million times, because they truly want what they want. They have made the correlation between the use of the word no and the acquisition of that which they need and or want. Fam, our children are smarter than we give them credit for. Vastly smarter than we give them credit for. But the no's and the give me what I want doesn't just stop there, fam. No. We have to spend between birth and age 5 teaching our children to manipulate their social environment in order to have positive experiences. Now, I'm using the word manipulate, which is the truth. We all manipulate each other. Manipulate just means to handle, to work with, right? We work with each other. We handle each other. When Sister Christine has, for example, an issue that she wants to address with me, she understands due to rules and how previous interactions have gone, how she is more likely to get from Brother Black what she wants by a certain turn of phrase, by a certain tone of voice, by certain types of gesticulations, all of which are manipulation. It's patent manipulation, but it's manipulation to serve a purpose. And for the most part, I use those same manipulations, so no harm, no foul. We have to spend between birth and age 5 teaching our children how to manipulate the individuals in their environment and the environment itself. We teach them to pick up their toys, and there are rewards for picking up their toys. We teach them to be observant of other people's behavior and to adjust their behavior accordingly. We teach them how to maneuver through their environment and manipulate every aspect of it to their benefit. So we raise everyone to be selfish. We raise everyone. Shout out to my brother Double C. Welcome to the broadcast, fam, and happy hump day to you. We teach our children to be selfish. That's right. So that when they go to school, it's all about them. You better go there and get your education, boy. And if any one of those boys try to stop you from learning or get up in your face or bully you, you kick their ass. You teach your children to be selfish. It is one of the smartest things that we as ADOS parents do for our children. Do you know why it's the smartest thing? Because once they enter into school, the school system spends the next 12 years teaching them to subsume their individuality, to push down their own individual desires for the greater collective. When I was attending school as a child in the kindergarten, and I ain't gonna tell y'all how old I was, how long ago that was, but y'all know how old I am, so it was forever ago. When I was in kindergarten, we had competitions, right? We had spelling bees. We had competitions who could see to roll up their mat the fastest after nap time, after lunch, and who could get out to the sandbox the fastest. And everything was a competition. Everything was a competition. And you were rewarded due to your efforts. And when you failed, as we often did, you learned from your mistakes and you strived to be better the next time. Oh, hell no, I'm not going to get tripped up on xylophone next time. Right? By the way, happy birthday, Double C. Happy early birthday, fam. Nowadays, though, you send your children to school and all they got to do is show up. They have graduation ceremonies for kindergartners. What the fuck is that? They haven't been in school but 1 year. And if they have part-time kindergarten, they weren't even in school a whole school year. But they graduate, and everybody gets a little piece of paper rolled up like it's a diploma, and they make the little cap and gowns and all of that, and everybody graduates. When they go out on the playground, there's no competition. There's no figuring out to see who's the fastest runner or the highest jumper or the highest climber or the most fearless or the one who's able to get along with the most people or the one who's, best at this particular game or that one. Nope. Your kids don't even get to play out there anymore. God forbid they should pick up a ball and throw the motherfucker. They'll get arrested for injuring some kid who parent, told them, you can't hit my kid with a ball. Fam, everybody gets awards these days for just showing up, for just participating. And so what they learn throughout their 12 years of educational indoctrination is simply this: that your individual self doesn't matter. Your individual ability, your individual skills, your individual desires, your individual wishes, goals, aspirations, whatever the case, doesn't matter. All that matters is the harmony of the group. It's absolutely Orwellian, fam. There's no difference. No way for your child to stand out. Why do you think so many ADOS boys go into sports? You think it's just simply because we like sports? No. But in a world where everybody gets treated the same for just showing up, how else are you supposed to stand out? How else are you supposed to be a person, an individual? When you're on the O-line and you're facing a defender on the D-line, there is only two people there that you need to be concerned about. You and them. You don't have to be worried about society at large and, the world stage. No. Your children get to do and be what they were born to do and be, and that is be children until such time as they become adults. But they only get to do it on the sports field, on the football field, on the basketball court, on the tennis court. Fam, what they have done is because there is no clear-cut differentiation between different people and their different individual essences, they basically flattened everything. They have flattened everything. So it's no wonder that your child grows up now and has no get up and go. No desire to break camp, to strike out for parts unknown. What is it called, fam? Failure to launch? Right? Now, I already got my own issues with ADOS throwing their kids way the fuck out there, out in the middle of life too damn early. But there is something to be said, fam, for encouraging your children to go, not for what they know, but for what they don't know. I was very fortunate, fam. My mother forced us to try new shit. I lived in the projects, in the PJs. And I was one of the only children I knew that had ever eaten a star fruit or a kiwi, that had eaten elk or venison. And not just food. My mother would take us places. She would take us places where sometimes we would be the only black faces there, so that we could participate in art projects and learning situations and so on and so forth, right? My mother encouraged us to never, ever, ever think that there wasn't something that we should not be a part of, that we should not be interested in, that we should not want to put our footprint in. And that stuck with me even as an adult. As an adult, I have spoken with doctors and I've spoken with drug heads. I've interacted with judges and I've interacted with junkies. I've interacted with strivers and movers and hippies of all ethnicities, of all languages. And I have never once been afraid, fam, to go and experience something simply because it is there for me to experience. Fam, the truth of the matter is that when you combine a lot of our acculturation, especially religiously, along with the educational indoctrination towards flattening everybody, towards making everybody be roughly the same, combine that with the diversity training that we have to face in the workplace as adults, because yes, we get fed the same propaganda as our children. How do you think they reinforce the propaganda that they feed them at school? They reinforce it on us at work, and we go home and reinforce it upon our children. What they have done is they have made the individual worth less. But by making the individual worth less, fam, they've also unknowingly, unwittingly made the collective worth less. Because each of us bear a certain unit of worth. And when that unit of worth is demeaned, right, is belittled, is considered of no consequence, you can't combine 38 million nobodies together and create a somebody. If they're all nobodies, then we are all nobodies. That's the real shameful part about our disgusting lack of self-care as ADOS. We don't realize that by denying our own selves, we actually are already denying our people. Because if I cannot do for me, if I don't even see my unit of worth, my value as an individual, how in the hell am I supposed to see yours? Like Double C said, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You can't multiply by zero, fam. One times zero is zero. 2 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0. 5 million times 0 is 0. So, what is selfish? What does selfish mean? Because, fam, I told you that we all learn to manipulate the individuals in our environment as well as the environment itself. So we need to talk about selfishness. What is selfishness? Well, the environment at large would tell you that selfishness is an improper, misplaced desire for only what you wish for, what you desire, so on and so forth. I disagree. We already have a word for people who want everything all for themselves. It's called greed. Greed is bad. We all can agree on that. Greed is fucked up, right? You want everything for yourself. That means ultimately, in a world of finite resources, you want nothing for anyone else. Greed will get you fucked up. Especially if you have a bunch of people who are selfish enough to do their job. But selfish, fam, means an orientation towards preserving oneself. And I would argue, fam, that everything we do as ADOS is about selfishness. Tim Moore said that we do all the work, but everybody call us the lazy ones. How true is that? Nobody works harder than somebody who works for free. Greetings, by the way, Darker Visions. Welcome to the broadcast, fam. You have to understand that selfishness is the default position of every sane, rational human being. You were born selfish, and this is a good thing. I've talked about how a mama squirrel will fight to defend her children, right? So we know that protecting your offspring is built into our genome. But understand this. A mother squirrel, beyond a certain point, seems to have the instinct enough to understand that she can always make more baby squirrels. But it takes a hell of a lot of resources and a lot of time and investment to make a mother squirrel. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Sometimes you gotta break camp. Now, this doesn't mean that I think we should throw our children in the trash or anything like that, fam. Not at all. But what this is to say is that there has to become some point beyond which not caring for yourself comes at a detrimental cost, not just to you, but to all of us. How many ADOS people are walking around with untreated symptoms physically? They have pains and aches, but they're scared that somebody gonna tell them that they're lazy or that they malingering or trying to take off from work, so they don't take the time off from work that they need to go in and see a physician about their aches and pains. How many? How many of you? How many of us have mental trauma goes way back to the earliest times of our lives that we never ever face? For fear of being ostracized, for fear of being criticized, for fear of being told that we're weak. How many? How many of us are sitting on thousands of dollars of debt but paying our kids' bills? How many? Fam, I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. How many? When was the last time, fam, that you just jumped in your vehicle and took the fuck off and drove 2 hours in pick a direction and experienced whatever you could experience in that trip? Just 2 hours any direction, and went there and spent the whole day there doing whatever the fuck you felt like, whatever you saw, whatever you could experience. When's the last time you did that? See, fam, self-care is so key to this advocacy as ADOS, because the one thing that never fails to set us back as a collective, as a tribe, is the attacks on our individual expression. As ADOS, you can't wear your hair the way you want to wear your hair, because your hairstyle is threatening. Becky's could come in with hair dyed with purple Kool-Aid and bone piercings through their nose. You come in with cornrows. That's a problem. You can't speak the way you would like to speak or that you feel comfortable speaking, because your way isn't proper English. You can't dress the way you would like to dress. Fam, self-care is the basis of every bit of advocacy that you could ever do for your people. In the times when we were foragers, what they call hunter-gatherers, in the times when we were foragers, in most tribes, the hunters ate first. Why is that? Well, the answer is simple, fam. If the hunters don't eat, who's going to hunt? The gatherers, the ones who went out and picked the different plants and harvested honey, they ate first. Do you know why they ate first, fam? The answer is simple. Because if they didn't eat first, who was going to gather? See, fam, being selfish means that you desire the best for you. Right? You desire the best for you. Now, you're thinking right now, Mark Black, that sounds like a complete asshole. I gotta want everything the best for me? How else are you going to honor the words of Yeshua, who said, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. How else? Right? So even if you are the most religious or spiritual, the most, God-fearing, right, individual, the commandment tells you to love yourself. What is it that Yeshua was reputed to have said? Love Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, all thy mind, and love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two things hang the whole of every law. But to love your neighbor, fam, you have to love yourself. You have to be selfish in order to be worth anything to me. Because the love you have for yourself is going to be reflected in the things you do for me. You're going to see how you desire to live, how you would like to experience life. And you will do what it takes in order for you to be able to have that, and thus will be in a position to help me to get into a place where I can have it. Loving yourself is the law. Being selfish is the rule. It's the first and foundational rule of all of your interactions as a human being. How you claim to love your children, but you fucked up and ain't been to the doctor in 2 years to have a physical? How you love your kids when it's been 4 years since you had a pap or had a mammogram? How you love your family when you too goddamn scared to go in and get a goddamn prostate exam, ADOS men? That shit kills us in droves. But we don't want to go in and get a finger up our butt to check things out so that we can be healthy for our family. Being selfish, fam, is the best and most altruistic thing you can do. Loving yourself means that you have the capability to love me, your brother, and your neighbor. You feel me? Tim Sabor said, if I at work, I buy a new pair of work boots for comfort, I get looked at like I'm flexing. But thank you. How you gonna continue to get that bag, Tim, if your feet fucked up and your back worn out because you got bad boots? How you gonna continue to take care of your family? More importantly, fam, how you claim to love anybody when you can't stand your goddamn self? We sit here and chide other ADOS people for the most inane of shit. A woman goes and spends $35 at a damn nail salon so she can have mobile art on her fingers that brings her a positive headspace, a good aesthetic about herself, puts her in a good headspace. What do? We tell her she's stupid for wasting the tribe's money. Girl, what you doing? Wasting your money with them Asians or Arabs or insert ethnicity here like black people don't do nails. How? This is you the reason why niggas like us can't get nowhere. Because you just wasted your money with them Arabs and the Asians and the white man. How come I can't just fucking breathe? Everybody else get to go out and buy Xbox and enjoy that motherfucker except ADOS males. Everybody. Everybody could go and get the new Xbox 3D 4K extravaganza and play it till the cows come home. Neck, beard, and all, sitting in their mama basement. And they still treat it like human beings. But let a damn ADOS man want to play some Madden 2K or something. He's a fucking pookie. Everybody tell us that we not only broke, but we should suffer being broke. Fam, I'm here to tell you today, we ain't got nothing. Fine. That's fine. Right? Should you be responsible? Yes, you should. Yes, you should take care of your needs, right? You feel me? But God damn, man, if your pleasure is sitting there with the cable TV that you paid for, working your ass off, watching Empire at the end of the motherfucking day, who's got a right to say shit to you? If your pleasure every once a month even is going out and having a motherfucking steak, fam, go with my blessing. Every damn thing we do ain't about trying to bring the people down. Sometimes it's about trying to bring my own ass up. I got shit for the people if I can't play my video games every so often. I'm sorry, but I got nothing for the tribe if I can't cheer on my favorite fucking football team. And I don't give a fuck about the NFL being racist, this, that, and the third. We are ADOS in America. Everything we interact with has race involved with it in some way, shape, or fashion. But I'm supposed to just be a goddamned monk, a warrior monk, whose whole thought process, whose whole everything is focused not on myself, but on my people. I'm not supposed to take a breath unless it's supposed to benefit ADOS. I'm not supposed to get up in the morning and think about anything other than the tribe. Bullshit. And I'm telling you, this transformational moment will not last if we cannot put our individual selves to an extent first. ADOS tells you about you. It tells you exactly who you are, where your history and lineage comes from, where you've been, where you are, and where you can go. You first. This is not to say you're going to get there without us. You won't. But damn it, ADOS life ain't just struggling. I'm so sick of people who try to sell us white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, as if we can't have any type of agency whatsoever. This is not to say that white supremacy isn't an issue or that it doesn't exist. Of course it does. But this also means that in spite of, you can still have a life of value, a life of worth, a life of, dare I say it, joy, a life of, dare I say it, peace. As ADOS, our birthright is that we will have to fight for those things if that's what we want. And I'm down to fight with whomever, whenever, however. Not only for myself, but for my tribe. But you have just as much right to enjoy the fruits of America as anybody. And yes, that means that you get to go out sometimes and eat a motherfucking pizza without somebody telling you, see, if you had took that money and put it towards this, niggas would have something. No, you take your money and you go get you some goddamn pizza and you enjoy that day, that moment, that part of your life. What up, Mate and Dade and Nuke? I see y'all, fam. On Code is in the house. Welcome to the broadcast. Fam, I get it. Right? If you personally ain't with the NFL, don't ride with the NFL. I'm not here to tell you to boycott them or not boycott them. What I am saying is this. If NFL is your pleasure, who the fuck has a right to tell you that it can't be? If watching your beloved Chiefs, go Chiefs, or your Patriots, fuck the Patriots, win a football game, gives you some juice, to be able to go out here and deal with more bullshit the next day, I say have at it. I say have at it. I'm past tired, fam, of people trying to take what obviously will be a long-term struggle, a long-term fight, and make it so immediate that we don't have a space to breathe. They want us to remain in the struggle. But my life, my lineage, my heritage as ADOS wasn't just struggle. Even on the plantation, fam, even on the plantation, our people had some time to be able to breathe. They would dance. They would sing. They would visit other plantations. When they were able to get scraps of food, a little extra off the hog, they had a cookout. Our ancestors went through the fucking crucible and yet found ways to be able to lift their individual selves and them and their people up. And they took it as their duty, their responsibility to find some joy, some pleasure, even in the worst fucking situation a people could be in. And I honor them for that. That's what allowed them to survive to make me. Your being selfish, fam, is the most altruistic thing you could possibly do. Your being politically selfish is handing the Democrats an ass whooping they never saw coming. You being economically selfish is going to change the face of America. You being socially selfish is going to improve your relationships 1,000-fold. You being religiously selfish is going to make you the bearer of light. Fam, you go get a vaccination. Do you know that a vaccination is only for you? When they inject you with the vaccination, you're the one being vaccinated. But you don't realize how much you just helped me. Because if I get vaccinated, and you get vaccinated, and Tim gets vaccinated, and August gets vaccinated, pretty soon the disease that would normally lay tens of thousands of our children in the grave and make a whole bunch of adults sick just goes the fuck away. We all are selfish. But our selfish behavior has altruistic side effects. I cannot love my neighbor if I don't love myself. And that is as simple as that, fam. Self-care is not some bullshit buzzword from psychology. It's not something that some rich Becky made up that sounds nice but ain't for black people. Self-care is key. It is key. It is key to being ADOS in America. Without you having some self-care and some self-respect and some self-love and yes, some motherfucking selfishness, we ain't gonna make it. We ain't gonna make it. I teach you all the time, fam, that we need every single last one of you. This battle that we're facing, this fight that we have to take to the United States government, we need every single last one of you, which means we don't have the luxury of you playing mule to the whole world. We don't have the luxury of you acting like you're Atlas. Because I'm sorry, fam, we're not Atlas. If anything, ADOS has been more like Sisyphus, pushing the stone uphill only to have it roll all the fuck the way back down, and us thinking, oh Lord, we gotta go and push this thing back up again. Man, fuck that stone. Is it helping us? Is it helping me individually? No. Is it helping our families? No. Is it helping our communities? No. Is it helping our tribe? No. Then leave that stone at the bottom of the motherfucking hill and let's keep pushing. That's what self-care is all about. Self-care bleeds into every aspect of your connection with your tribe. If you are not practicing self-care, I would argue you don't understand what the hell ADOS means. That's right. Charity begins at home. Look out for yourself and your people first. If you don't understand self-care, you don't understand ADOS. It's simple as that. I'm so willing to stand on that. I will take on all comers. You don't understand self-care, fam. You don't understand ADOS. Fuck that stone. Leave it at the bottom of the hill. Who told you that it was the wise thing to do, the right thing to do, to be pushing that big stone up the hill anyway? Everybody want us to be struggle. Just everything is the struggle. Man, I stay knee deep in the struggle. Man, damn that. Nobody else lives knee deep in the struggle. Why should we? Why should I? I got enough shit to worry about than to make struggle. I'm tired of ADOS living in a struggle mentality. Sure, we've got a long history of injustices being done to us that continue to this very second. And we need to do what we need to do to have the strength of arms, the strength of mind to be able to combat those injustices. But does this mean you can't take a hot bath and lay in there with some bubble baths and turn on some motherfucking slow jams and let your troubles go down the drain? Hell no, it don't mean that. It don't mean, bruh, that you can't go out and enjoy that new pair of J's. Go get them. That don't make you no criminal. That don't make you no traitor to your people. That just means that you just want a little bit of a spot of enjoyment, a little ray of sun in your life. You have just as much right as anybody to have a little joy in your life, to put a little love in your heart. The struggle and hardships don't make stronger people. Struggle and hardships break people. You know, fam, they say that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Mark Black is here to call bullshit. I've had too many injuries over these 46 years that have weakened me to know that that's a bullshit statement. Those injuries didn't kill me, but it didn't make me better. Living that struggle life. I'm not saying that you're not going to face struggle. I shared with you today that Miss Diddy is struggling right now. Y'all know that I've been unemployed now for 2 years due to the health issues that I've had. I don't complain about it, but it's the case. It's the truth, right? We all struggle, fam. That's all right if you struggle. Life is going to bring struggle sometimes. But that doesn't mean as ADOS that you have to go out and look for struggle. Shit, let your life make somebody's way smooth. Like, do you to a point where you're one less trauma we have to deal with. You're one less problem we have to face. If you've had mental issues, mental health issues, right, and so on and so forth, please go get some help. Get some therapy. We got enough to struggle with. We shouldn't have to struggle with you too. If your body is broken, right, go get the health care you need, even if you got to save up bread to pay for it. It's all right. Nobody's telling you because you poor that you shouldn't have health care. You shouldn't take care of yourself. Please, fam, if you take nothing from this broadcast today, take this. You are not a traitor to us by taking care of yourself. You are not a traitor to your people by doing something nice for your own motherfucking self. We was broke before you got here, and we may still be broke after you leave. So what? You're supposed to deny yourself every good thing in life because we as a collective have had to struggle with the theft of our resources? Is that how this game is supposed to go? No. No. 1,000 times no. Whatever spot of joy that you're able to snatch from this life, fam, snatch it, and snatch it gladly, snatch it willingly. And accept no fucking substitutes. Accept no substitutes. And anyone that tells you ADOS, fuck that. Anybody who tells any of my viewers, allies, hangers on, haters, ADOS, anybody who tells you that you do not have a right to try and live your life with some degree of pleasure, joy, happiness, taking care of yourself, you turn around and you thank them. You thank them motherfuckers for letting them know that they shouldn't be in your life, and you ask them immediately. You matter. Thank you, Christine. Fam, I can't say it no better. I can't say it no better. You matter. We need you, right? We say that. We say that as ADOS. We need you. But what that means is that there has to be a you there for us to use, for us to have available. Which means, fam, that if you want to take some time off to go for a ride, then damn it, do it. If you want to go and get your hair did, go get your motherfucking hair did. Bruh, if you want that new PlayStation 5, go grab it. It ain't no more expensive for your broke ADOS asses is for every other broke ass American. You are the most American of American. Why is it everybody else get to enjoy their life except you? No, not today. Not anybody within the sound of my voice or who will view this video. Have your life and eat that motherfucker too. Have it to the full. You get this one, as far as we know. You get this one. Shout out to my brother CRU and to Courtney, by the way. Welcome to the broadcast. You have this one life, as far as we know, fam. Just this one. Just this one. Live it. Don't struggle with it. Live it. White supremacy will present you obstacles. White supremacy has presented all of us obstacles. And we have to fight. We're going to have to fight white supremacy to get over those obstacles. We sure in the hell are, individually, familial, in the family, community, as well as our tribe. We're going to have to fight. But I'm telling you, fam, I've said it before, and I'm going to finish up the broadcast because I know Yvette's supposed to be broadcasting tonight. I wanted to, let y'all get over there and listen to the Sister Chop. But any revolution I can't dance at isn't a revolution I want to be a part of, fam. I don't care what it is that bring you joy, that hits your aesthetic sense with that blast of go for it. Everybody else does. You gotta have something to deal with just the everyday stress of being ADOS in this motherfucker. I don't care if it's smoking a blunt. You smoke a blunt, smoke a blunt. I've smoked my share of blunts. And damn it, you know what I was feeling when I smoked those blunts? I was happy. Isn't it strange? Now, I don't recommend you all the time smoke blunts to get your joy, but what I'm saying is nothing wrong, fam. You are not betraying us by actually having a motherfucking smile on your face, by feeling good, by smelling good, by looking good, and so on and so forth. Oh, for real, AL? Well, even still, Miss Diddy's got dinner cooking in this motherfucker, and it's smelling hella good, and I'm hungry, so I'm about to leave y'all. But this Saturday, fam, we're gonna get into some more teaching discussion. We're gonna go to the teaching screen and we're gonna do some shit. I hope though that with these series of broadcasts that I've had on some inspiration, right, that I've given you something that you can carry with you, sort of as that little ember in your heart, right? You need that fire in you. You need to know that you are America, that everybody has to come and bend the knee to you, ADOS. You need to know that you have a right to live a life as struggle-free as anybody else. You have a right to enjoy as much of this life as you're able to do. You are not a traitor to your people by taking care of yourself, by living as best you're able, fam. Matter of fact, you're a traitor to us if you don't. I love you, fam. I love you, fam. And you have to understand that. I would not say this otherwise. So with that, fam, as always, I want to wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and power. Real power to our people.